Welcome to another episode of Chaii Charcha on the move. We're here in Knightsbridge, Chaiwala. Power, perception and authenticity. So our topic of discussion today is the influencer culture. Do influencers genuinely shape opinion and culture? Or is it influence dressed up as entertainment? Well, that's what's up for discussion today. That's our Charcha. Let's go meet our guests and do some Charcha here at Chaiwala, Knightsbridge. Come and join me.
I'm here for Chaii and Charcha today, and can I order a carrot chai, please?
Hi, I'm Siddhi, and I'm here for Chaii and Charcha. Can I please have a carrot chai?
Sure. I'm here for Chaii and Charcha. Can I have any hot chocolate?
Hi, my name is Sadia Khan, and today I'm here for Chaii and Charcha. Can I order one king tea, please?
Influencer. What does that mean to you? What is an influencer?
The way that I knew it a while ago was you had someone who had a lot of followers on using Instagram as an example. But then if you break down the word influencer, anybody can be an influencer, even if you're not on social media. If you're having a conversation with a friend, you're influencing something. So then it's a really interesting take on what is an influencer, because if you take the angle of you've got to have 100,000 followers, and I know that there are companies who are looking for follower numbers who they want to collab with, but how many of those followers are genuine, because you can acquire them? What's the metric for the output? And also you can have someone who doesn't have a huge following, but they put out a lot of great content, but they won't give you the reach.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a really interesting conversation, because if you look at it, you could have someone who has a load of following, but they don't push it out as well as they could do.
So you're saying it's about marketing?
It's a tricky thing, right? Because I can understand why companies will want to work with people who have got a lot of following because they've got a lot of reach. But then you're also alienating people who could actually do a good job for you and build on a small... And now micro-influencers, for example, are also big.
What do the rest of you think? Do you agree with his description?
I think I do think that influencers has changed over the years, and so as a social media influencer, you're there, like I said, like the word that word influencer, how I actually viewed it from a good few years back when I started working with influencers as a PR for brands who want to bring on people that can basically give their brand, a bigger reach, as it were. I would see that as a person with, like you just said, like someone who had big numbers. You're always, and I remember when I had to research influencers, I'd always look at influencers with really big numbers, really high reach. And as years have gone on, that's why I believe the saying that influencer means something else. Actually, in my experience, I find micro-influencers are far better than the big influencers. Like, look.
When you say better, what do you mean? Is that in terms
better in the sense, from my point of view, and what I would use influencers for, that is to create awareness of a brand, to fundraise, for instance, with a charity. In my experience, the smaller influencers with the lesser numbers are actually far more kind of, they've got a better reach. Like they're better at what they do. Yeah, because I feel like their following is very genuine, and it's people that really want to follow them. Yeah. And they've created a community of their followers. Now you've got ones who have got maybe like 100, maybe 500,000 up to 1 million, and I've worked with those kind of numbers as well. Some are right. I'm not saying they're all bad. Of course, they've got a really high reach, but I feel like, let's look at us for instance. Like we all follow, say, like a big celeb. Let's just say, like, I love Jason Momoa, and he was in the UK, right? And he did all this, like, he was around going to all these different places. And one of my mates met him in Birmingham, and I was like, oh my God, why didn't you tell me? Yeah, and so, but I was thinking about, we actually had this conversation. I said, if Jason Momoa was doing a campaign, say, on, I don't know, cancer awareness, right? Would you just go out and start donating to cancer awareness? I'm going to say, quite honestly, no. I probably wouldn't.
Jason Momoa.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't. However, if there was a much smaller, when I say, someone who's not that famous, who is really talking from the heart about this, this topic of cancer or whatever, I'm more inclined to donate.
That's really interesting analogy.
Yeah.
I just want to get your reactions in terms of what you see or what you...
So I think I can follow up with Nas, and I think when you are, like, as you said, Jason Momoa, probably get millions of people or companies try to reach it to him, and then there was a smaller influencer. Maybe they don't have that much following in terms of companies approaching him because of the numbers, but they can do your work better.
Yeah.
Because they have community based on particular thing. So I think it's a typical.
But having said that, some influencers have huge following even bigger than Hollywood stars.
Yes.
Sometimes. Because I've worked with a lot of Bollywood stars and they now see that some influencers have more following than they do.
For me, I think I'm not really happy with what's going on at the moment, because influencing for me that you can inspire something or influence that people can. Nowadays, society pressure is too much. I'm not blaming influencers, but most of them, the new youth, the Gen Zs, are following them more than us.
Yeah.
So I think it's more pressure in terms of society. The kids wanted to do the same thing, buying the same thing. Like, let's say Labubu.
Oh gosh, yeah.
It was everywhere.
Done and dusted.
But now you don't know. So I think it's challenging times. In terms of everyone.
Yeah.
But
you
I'm not really happy with the
word,
content, because I think it's more money based.
But you yourself, Sadia, you've got more than 30,000 followers, so well done. That's amazing.
Amazing.
And so I would say that you're an influencer, but you don't like being labelled as one. Why?
Because when I started photography, I wanted to, because usually I come from Pakistan. I moved here when I was 21, and at that point, not in my family as a girl, studied abroad. I'm the only one except
Well done.
boys.
Yeah.
So when I moved here, I was studying economics. Usually back home, it's the criteria that either you can be doctor or lawyer or something. But then I moved here, I wanted to do photography from very young age. I have a little camera. So I wanted to influence and change that perspective that girls can be, especially Asian girls who wear hijab or who wear modest clothing, can't do something, which I try to break that stereotype. For me, I think I wanted to influence the people who are modest and don't want to show themselves. I'm not against anyone's clothing. It's just what I meant. There is so many girls who wanted to show their body parts.
It's your belief, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's your values.
For me, influencing is that I wanted to break that, like, girls can do, or a Muslim or a hijabi. And I'm
So
really
numbers
proud.
don't matter.
No.
Impact for you. Yeah. What would you say to that? Do you agree, or do you have your own?
Absolutely agree. I think so. I came into the influencer world. I mean, I came across this whole terminology, I think, fairly recently. So when I turned 18, when I was using Instagram, my world of Instagram was more about posting what I wanted to post. It was very simple. It was just random pictures that you would take, you would edit them on a random app with those sepia filters, and that was that. And then slowly over the years, so I lived in Germany and then I moved to the UK, and the world, the influencer world or the social media world back in Germany was so different from when I came to London, because suddenly over here, it's been 5 years in this country, and I saw this very interesting sort of herd mentality, and that is what I link with influencers, where suddenly, for me, influencers, I can't think of the word as the actual word, which is influence. I only think of it as people who promote certain brands, are showing day in their lives, what I eat in a day. This is my workout routine. Look what which I have
We could do that today. This is what we eat.
which I have nothing against. I watch those videos myself because they're so interesting. It gives you a little sneak peek into somebody's life. But I feel like the only thing that I have an issue with is the pressure it's putting on, if not just the younger generation, but almost every single person on this planet. It could be my mother to my younger sibling. You know, my mother wants to post a dance video of hers from my wedding and say, "Oh, do you think somebody's famous will watch it and I'll get the views?" You know? So it's affecting that generation. It's affecting me as a dancer because
So your description more is it's not influencers craving attention.
it is craving attention.
Right.
I think because of the fame. So growing up, I don't know about you guys. Growing up, for me, fame was associated with Bollywood actors, with businessmen, politicians, this famous people. But now there's, like you said, there are Hollywood actors who have less followers than influencers. So now there is this relatively easier access to fame compared to, you have to go to drama school, you have to study. So now you create your own content. So there is that ease that comes with it. But I think what the plus side to this is that, for me especially as a dancer, is that it's given me a creative outlet which otherwise people wouldn't have. So growing up, dance was a hobby because what else could it be? But now, because I have Instagram, when I came to London, I was able to post these videos of mine from my room that reached the right people, and now I'm able to form a community who dance with me and who think like me. So I think influencer, like, I wouldn't call myself an influencer. I don't think I want to be an influencer. But what I want to do is use this platform and use this, and not use, but like be friends with influencers who are like-minded and want to make this community, a similar community as me.
It's interesting you say that. Be friends with influencers. We still, we haven't really cemented the definition of an influencer. So who would you say, as an example, is the friend?
So I think, and I'm talking from a dance perspective. Now there's a thing called dance influencers. I don't know if you're aware. So we have, in India, especially from Mumbai, there's a lot of dancers who, very well trained, extremely amazing dancers who have turned into influencers. So they all have like 1 million followers. And
Like Quick Style.
Quick Style, they're like really talented, but also, there's multiple like local Mumbai-based dancers, or even here, and they have a choreography that's gone viral, and then they teach it across the world. For me, and then they use their platform to do brand deals, which is great. I would do brand deals if I could, because I am interested in expanding my business.
We all need a revenue stream. We all need money to pay the bills.
Am I an influencer? I think for influencers, I think it's important for them to draw that boundary of where do I fit in? Am I going to take everything that comes my way? Am I going to say, this is what is my ethos, this is what I resonate with, and this is what I will share on my platform? So that kind of influence, great. But influencing in a way to just have the 1M on your profile, I think that's where it gets a bit shady.
If I was to give my input, I'm a journalist and editor of a newspaper, a couple of newspapers now actually, and I always look at in terms of impact. So for me, I look at, an influencer is somebody that can shape opinion, shape culture, shape basically a decision on something. Whereas an influencer on numbers, or because they've gone viral, and I'm using that, viral is a word that is often used with influencers. So for example, my nieces, I've been babysitting them for the last couple of weeks, and they were telling me about this trend that went viral. You might have all heard, because I was oblivious to it. 6'7".
Oh yeah.
The number 6'7", and they do this funny. And I'm thinking, how nonsensical is that? What is the impact of that? But it's gone insanely viral. Even Google now, if you put 6'7" in Google, it shakes.
Really?
Seriously, try it. So I was like, oh my God, so that is that influence? Would you say that's influence? Because I think nonsensical stuff has no relevance to our world, and I think that's...
And a lot of it has sadly become so that because it went viral, and a lot of ridiculous things are going viral.
Do you think if something goes viral, it means that they've had impact?
Well, they have really, if you think about it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
whether it's
technically-
positive impact, that's the question.
Yeah, I mean it does, doesn't it? It's like I went to a car show with my daughter, who's really into cars.
Oh, I
she
love
loves
it.
fast cars, and you know she's really into that stuff. And when as we were at this event, so I took her and her two friends, another girl and another guy, and they're all like 19, around that age, and they went, right, Mum, come on, we're going to do the viral some dance thing, and then obviously with all the talk over it, obviously we've got a mime to it, and I went, what have I got to say? And I was like, what have I got to say? And then they were like, right, we're going to just let you listen to it, and you say this part, and then we're going to post it. And I went, are you kidding me? And they were like, yeah. But I've actually done quite a few, because I've got teenagers. Well, I've got a 21, 19 and 18. They're at that age, right, where they really do copy things that have gone viral on TikTok, on Instagram. Well, it's mainly TikTok. And then they will repost it. And they'll be like, Mum, if you're in it, it's gonna blow up.
Yeah.
Because it's like they don't expect mums to do this kind of stuff, and I'm like, oh, shall I do it then? And and I'll often do that stuff, but definitely it must have an influence, right?
Yeah.
Because viral stuff is influencing what you want to do.
Yeah. So let me ask you this question. You're all on social media, I guess, yeah?
Yes.
Instagram, TikTok.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, and dare I say, Facebook.
Yeah.
It's a generation.
Me as well, girl.
Yeah.
Facebook.
I'm on Facebook.
Yeah. You know, the younger generation don't even know what Facebook is. Anyway, so we're all on social media. We all have our own social media. Now, when you post something, do you guys look to see how many likes and shares you have? Does that matter? Is that important?
Yeah. Can I go first?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Of course.
I run this company called Chaii, and it's a dance company that I started
Definitely gonna follow you now.
about 2.5 years ago. And my main thing was, growing up as a middle child, I felt invisible in a lot of places. So dance was the only place where I could be myself, unapologetically myself. And I realized what that impact, like what dance did for me, and how it's gotten me from where I was to where I am now. And I wanted to share that to the world. And I know that a lot of people out there, South Asian women especially, who feel like they cannot own their space. So I was like, why not try to meet such people who feel similarly and make a community. Now, I can post a video and I can just hope for people to turn up. But I wouldn't say sadly, but given in this world, in today's society, us as creatives really have to cater to the algorithm to be able to grow our community, of course grow our business. We live in a tough economy, we have to make money as well, and to reach the people that you want to reach. It's not as easy for me as a dancer to, there's no dance networking events that I know about. Of course you can go to a dance class, but I find it a bit weird to go to another person's dance class to say, hey, come to my dance class, so I'm not going to do that. So when I post a video, I have to see, is it reaching 100 people? Is it reaching 50,000 people? And out of the 50, and because it is a business model in my head, it is strategy building, these kind of videos work, which mean 50,000 people have seen my video, 17 people came to my class. When I started, 3,000 people saw my video, 2 people came to my class. So because the views are increasing, there's more awareness about this brand of mine, which caters to a specific population who is to, for them to feel self-love, be more confident in them.
So let me flip it a little bit for you, Siddhi. So you're clearly using your platform for your business, and that's great, and I wish you lots more success. If you weren't using it for business and it was casual, because there are people who just have a 9-to-5 job and they use social media just to post. Some just do it for doom. What is it called? Doom scrolling? That's it. Yeah, I'm learning these terminologies. So if you were one of those, I know it's a hypothetical thing, but would
No, it's
would
actually
would
not.
likes and shares still matter?
Very interesting, because I do have a 9 to 5 as well, and
Yeah.
I do work Monday to Friday in a corporate job. And if I did not have, before I started June, I still felt this pressure to show my life to the world outside.
Yeah.
And that is just me, because I grew up in a very creative family. My sister is a Bollywood actor. My brother is a businessman.
We all want to know who that is now.
And my grandparents, my grandfather was a newsreader and he was a lyricist. So we are a very creative family, and the older generations of our family did not get that exposure that we have the privilege to today.
Yeah.
We can post and get out there.
Yeah.
And I think if it weren't for social media being the way it is today,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have realized that I want to build a brand of my creativity.
There's two distinct differences there, and I'm going to ask you two, because you're in creative industries, photography and obviously creative arts. Creative, but also those people that you mentioned, those professions that you mentioned, are public facing. Creativity and fame, two different things. And you can be on social media to be creative, but you can also be on social media because you want to be famous. So you have got more than 30,000 followers, and you think, and you're not fazed by it, which I'm just like, wow. If that was me and I had 30,000, I'd constantly just make sure, I've got 30,000 followers. I'd be very fazed by that, but you're not. So clearly it's not fame for you. You just want to show your photography.
I just wanted to show photography because let me share this. Sometimes when I attend events, I'm the only non-white Asian wearing scarf, standing in London Fashion Week taking pictures. That was a proud moment.
I just want to say well done on that firstly, you know, to stand out in the crowd. Exactly, that's just
So for
honestly.
me, is basically is that because then I can tell I achieved something.
Yeah,
I take pictures of Hollywood actor, which he called me friend, which is very good for me. And after that, I think it's for me, it's like essential now to post it.
Yeah.
And now I started uni and studying photography.
Well
Yes, I recently started in my mid-30s. I started, and then I know
It's
that
never
there
too
is
late.
so many people who are famous photographer and passed away, and then they found there is a photographer. She was nanny, nobody knows, and they found a trunk of pictures. Now they are exhibiting in Tate.
Oh wow.
So she nobody knows her. She was just a nanny in someone's house.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And it's really interesting. Her
Yeah.
pictures, they are self-portraits of everyday life. She shared more than 150,000 pictures.
amazing.
Wow.
Crazy.
So now, and she's famous now, and she don't have anyone. She don't have kids. She don't have family.
To carry the legacy, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
So you're saying
some
famous
people
now,
do
because
it.
is that because of social media then?
Yes,
Is that
but some people do it just for their own self. This is what I meant to say. 150,000 pictures. Your grandparents and my grandparents never take it.
no chance?
And
Yeah.
she saved it in trunks. You can see a documentary on BBC.
I mean, Girish, you're in the creative industry. I'll definitely come back to you, Nazira. What do you share what Siddhi and Sadia have said?
So I don't have like a huge, I guess I would call myself a micro influencer.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because when I started my new Instagram page, which is my current one that I'm using for business, there was a sense of like the pressure was off because I started with 0 followers. And I tried to get people to follow my new page and it wasn't easy. I think that's just a psychological thing.
Yeah.
So I got to a stage where I was like, well, I've got hardly any followers, I'm going to post anyway. I'm just going to post. Like there's no overburden of pressure. But I still get it. Like when I just followed your page earlier, got like 15,000. And there was a point in my brain, I was like, oh my gosh, you've got.
Yes. Hey, that happened here.
So there's still that thing, right? But I think for me, I make sure that the content I upload is high quality and high value. And I'm not someone that will just put something up for the sake of it. For me, I want to use my platform so that I can show potential clients what I do. I can educate in what I do as well. It gives me a platform to show what I do as well. But I'm not using it in terms of like, I mean, my business is very niche in the performing arts, so I don't think I'll ever get to like loads of followers, but I'm not bothered about that. I would rather be someone who just puts out good content. The people that I connect with, they're within my space, that's good enough for me. But I think where it is dangerous is for the younger generation who have grown up in this Gen Z culture. They don't know how great life was before technology and stuff.
That's the key one, and that's what I'd like you to.
The follower numbers, it's interesting because it's like I'm looking at someone with like 100,000 followers, right, for example, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like they must be so successful, or I want to get there. But then it's like, what are you looking at? Because you're just looking at a number. You don't know that person.
You know that
you
the
don't
story
know the
behind
content.
it. Yes.
You're just looking at a visual. And I think that's where
very
like, you can get
deceiving.
sucked into it. And also the amount of work it takes to put content together. I think until you do content, you honestly have no idea. It is stressful. I love what I do, but I really hate the pain associated with creating content.
I think you're so right when you said about, you know, when someone says to you, oh, what's your Insta? And then you go in and you'll be like, oh, I don't have that many followers. You know, I find myself saying that. I'm not, because they'll be like, oh, you're a PR Naz. And I'm like, yeah, but I see, for me, I use Instagram the most. And that is a window to my work. And that's how I look at Instagram. I'm not obsessed with it. I do like having a, like, say, doom scrolling. I do it. Of an evening before I go to bed. I might have a little scroll around, see what everyone's up to. And we have become a bit of a society of like, is that the right word? Voyeurism? We're voyeurs. We like to see what people are doing. What people are up to. And I get really quite in, and I find myself getting dragged into it. I know you was going to ask. You know, I'm of a certain generation, like, where like social media was non-existent. Like, so going out, and guys, you're going to be quite surprised. So under my bed, I was actually that person, and this is no word of lie, and I will send you a picture of my box under my bed. So I was that girl that used to go out with a camera everywhere. So I've probably got well over 2,000 photographs of me through the generations with my friends, clubbing, Ibiza, Ayia Napa, you know, you name it. Well, all the things that we did, parties.
That can be millennial.
Yeah, I've got all, and so when I say to my daughters and to their friends, like, when we used to go out, I'd get my camera and it'd point and shoot. No filtering, you know, no, let's do that again, let me just edit that, let me do this again. I said, what you see there is what you get. And that is what I find very sad, I think, for me, about today and society and this generation, is that if something doesn't look right, they erase it and start again. And I think, guys, just live in that moment. Like, why don't you just live in the moment? Like, you know, I'm so...
And they have everything, and
but I just think it's really sad. But then I guess I'm a completely different generation, and my kids say this to me all the time. But Mum, you grew up in a different time.
It's really funny you say that, because we're almost talking about this fake world that has been created because an influencer wants to show a particular space. For example, I'll give you an example with me today. So Yusuf, you know Yusuf really well. So Yusuf is a very famous celebrity bodyguard, and he's got a range of flash cars. So I rung him and I said, would you like to come? And he says, I don't want to come, but what I want to do is I want to drive you up here in a Rolls Royce, and I want you to come out of the car in a Rolls Royce. And I says, that's lovely, but isn't that fake? Because I don't own a Rolls Royce and I don't have that kind of life. I'm not Anna Wintour. I run a newspaper. She's a fashionista magazine, and I have to be forced to dress up. So no, I'm not doing that. But I could have easily done that, and I could have easily pulled out in a Rolls Royce and shown it. And that probably would have got a lot of traction as well. But, you know, ooh, who's this? So sometimes some people, you're creating content, and you said it's so hard to create that content because you're trying to be original, perhaps.
So part of my target market is luxury, but I also feel that like luxury can come from the heart. I'm in a beautiful space because I can fuse the both things together. But just touching on what she said earlier in terms of like the number, so the authenticity thing. Right? So I put up a video last year on Instagram which blew up, got to like 2 million views.
Well done.
I love that.
Nice.
I had a moment where I wanted to, like, I was not expecting it to go like high. So
was it authentic content?
It was authentic content, I did use ads to boost it, but it still obviously grew because it did well for what it did. So when it reached 100,000 views, it was like 6 in the morning or something. I was in bed. I was so excited. I was not expecting to reach 100,000 views, right? So I was like, I'm going to document this. I'm not a morning person. So I get out of bed. I'm in my pajamas. I'm in my office, and I was like, I need to get changed. I can't take this looking like this because I have to look good, right? And in the end, I was like, no, screw this. I had a moment of vulnerability where I was like, I'm just going to shoot it. And it's on my Instagram, on my highlights. So what I even did, normally I would edit like a spot off my face. That's the only thing I really do on Photoshop if I'm editing stuff for myself, apart from lighting, which I use Lightroom with. But I decided to just keep it. Because I just decided, no, for this photo, it has to be raw, it has to be real. So even when it came to putting it on Instagram, I didn't change anything. That took a moment for me to be like, I'm just going to own it. And then later on, when I hit 1 million or whatever it was, then I changed it. But I spoke to ChatGPT, I'm like, it's okay, you can do it. But it's interesting because, like, again, you're basically seeing a shop front window. You don't know how it's been put together. Models take hours perfecting the right pose. Editors do amazing work at making something look
amazing.
Fantastic.
$1 million.
That's what you're sold. You're sold that vision. It's like you're sold holiday adverts. You're sold the experience. When you get there, it might be a different experience altogether, right? But you're sold that package immediately. So it's almost like when you see stuff, you have to kind of take a step back and be like, okay, but just question it.
It's interesting you say that. So he's looking at it from a different side now. We were originally talking about us being influencers or us having a platform and posting our content. He's now looking at social media and seeing who's influencing you. Who have you been influenced by on social media lately?
The whole Gaza situation.
Yeah.
So obviously that has, I think, influenced not just me, but millions of people.
Yeah.
And it's because of social media that we've been able to be educated, to be able to see the real deal of what's been going on in that country and kind of, spreading the word. And I think, again, for that, I believe that I've been very influenced, certainly by certain figures who have either become like real big activists who talk about it, day in, day out on their platforms. It has influenced.
Are these people that you've been influenced by not normally in the public domain?
Yeah, I would say so.
They're people that you've never...
not even known them. I might not even know who they are.
Right.
As in, even as somebody who works in PR, and they may be quite a big figure in media, but I'm not really aware of them.
Yeah.
But suddenly, they've become, like, I think Misan Harib, so he was a photographer. Yeah, exactly. These guys are just photographers, and, in their little world, like, I wouldn't know who they are, but because they've become so vocal and their work has just been, gone viral, as it were. Yeah. I've found myself sitting there, listening, watching, and thinking, God, this guy has...
So that's impact. That's an influencer with impact.
Yes, exactly.
And content matters.
Yes, in that respect, yes. I mean, I think, again... Look, let's be real. It's the generation that I am.
Yeah.
I'm not really going to get influenced by... I love watching, don't get me wrong, what I call like mind-numbing posts, which is like watching people do like makeup and then doing that. No makeup. Loads of makeup. I love that stuff. I don't know why. But I love it. And I love it when people... There's this guy who's on Instagram who looks like Mariah Carey, and he's a guy, and then he does his makeup and he looks exactly like Mariah Carey.
So is that entertainment influence?
Yes.
And then there's influence in terms of impact. Yeah.
The stuff that's like really what I would call like stuff that is kind of like intelligent and that is kind of like feeding my brain with good stuff and educating me at the same time. And they've got the stuff that I just want to watch because it is just funny or it's just entertaining, like food. I love watching people cook. I hate cooking. I love watching it.
It's very relaxing.
I don't know.
Therapeutic, yeah.
That thing they call
Like
that.
in Ramadan, you're fasting and watch food.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it is really...
What is like ASMR, right?
Yeah.
Right. Oh my God, my daughters are really in one of my.
You'll have to tell me what that is, because I'm still learning.
So noises like
Really?
Yeah, so there's a mic in front of you.
Yeah.
Things that
Oh God, I've seen people slurping. Is that what it is.
Yes. And then there's the popping, crunchy, and it kind of
Doing this.
That infuriates me. Yeah.
It awakens your senses.
Are you
What it
serious?
does to me, because I get really sensory, and it's really weird. But I can sometimes, and then they do like whispering on the microphone. You're like, why am I finding that like tantalising?
Very relaxing.
I don't know why. I don't know what
Strange.
that is.
Yeah.
But it's really weird.
But you just sit and watch.
And I just thought I will watch that kind because it said. But this is the other thing I wanted to say about social media, and that is in terms of becoming a little bit like my what's the word? See, I'm forgetting it. There you go. My my attention span.
Yeah.
Sorry, the attention span that is becoming. I have got the shortest and yet I am somebody who kind of sits there and writes press releases, has to talk to people, and so I love connection with people and I love communicating with people. But I find myself switching off and I'm thinking,
Is that because of social media?
I think
Because it's that 3-second swipe.
Yeah.
honestly, and it's really bad.
It's affecting the younger generation even
more
more.
so.
Because
Right?
we've
So-
been exposed to where, you go outside and play, literal words.
Yeah.
You go outside and play. Younger cousins or whoever that I've seen growing up, they would go outside with their iPads. So their attention span is so
Limited.
Very limited, exactly. It's almost scary. Like, I know how badly my attention span is going down already in the world of social media and AI now. But for them, it's a whole different world altogether. And I think it's so important to have that awareness, because I tend, when I'm watching, my algorithm is just dance videos at this point. And just to answer your question of how do you get influenced, right? And for me, the dance world right now is very similar for the dancing. So
Yeah.
even Bollywood dances are very commercial and they have a hook.
Yeah.
All the Bollywood songs coming out right now, they have a hook, and all these dance creators will be paid to dance to the hook,
Yeah.
and that goes viral. The song goes viral, they make money, and that's that. Compared to when we were growing up, we had Madhuri Dixit, we had Saroj Khan, we had all these dancers with proper, full song. We'd dance for 8 minutes. And so now I'm like, oh my god, I love that dancing, but do I have to do what the other influencers are doing? Yeah, because that's what's trendy right now.
Is that
It's
all?
just about like numbers, but it's
Yeah.
also like, am I not very
Is that also because? Is that also because the algorithms are feeding you that? Like, for example, my nieces were telling me about a For You page.
Yeah.
And I said, why do you watch it? She says, because it comes on my For You page.
That's
right.
And that's why I end up watching it.
Yeah, so
Because it's just feeding me.
because I own post
scary.
dance
Yeah.
stuff.
It's
I get
very
that.
scary.
It's very scary.
It's scary that I've been talking about something and then suddenly it comes up and I'm like, and that's why they're like, hey, listen to everything you're
So, are you influencing the same way as these guys in terms of what you consume?
For me, I try to follow a few influencers, then I end up unfollowing them.
Yeah.
Because when I met them in personal life,
Oh, that's been interesting.
That is,
About that. Yeah.
I want to hear them.
different, they're sitting on the same table and they didn't even bother to say you hello.
Are you serious?
That's
Yes.
so common.
And then
Yeah.
the second thing, maybe people think I met Mark Ruffalo while I was working in customer service behind the till, and we became friends.
Yeah.
And he gave me time to take his pictures
Oh,
just to help me.
yeah.
And at that 2 hours, me sitting in a cafe in Richmond, give me life lessons.
Yeah.
I learned a lot from him. After my dad, I think I learned a lot of him. Kindness is the one thing I wanted to share that I learned from him. And now, while he's talking about Gaza, indigenous people, oil spilling everything, I only follow him on my socials to get influence and to be vocal and to be outspoken and to be myself. Even though I wear hijab, sometimes I feel whatever happening in UK, scared. But then all the time, I met nicest people. They always encourage me. One guy said to me, once you start compromising, you have to compromise a lot, so don't compromise at the first point.
Yeah.
So I think I try not to be influenced by these people, because when I met them, they are not the same. And when I met celebrities, and then I find out that God give them this famous thing. What do you call it?
Platform.
For some reason.
Yeah.
Because they are really kind, and they are not kind just because you're famous. They are kind to everyone. I was there. I was working in customer service behind the tills. Who am I? Just a girl, just a Muslim girl. He speaks to me about hours about my religion, about my faith, about everything.
He was interested in you.
Yeah, he's interested.
That's genuine.
I
Yeah.
can't give him money. I can't give him anything.
Yeah.
I send him ajrak because when I asked my dad, can I send him something for a thank you, and he said he can buy anything. So just give him something from your culture. So I just give him a ajrak shawl.
Oh,
to him
nice.
Back in 2015 at his home. He wore it on Twitter. I even didn't know. And somebody posted in Pakistan that he was wearing it.
How lovely.
That's so
So
sweet.
I find
That's so sweet.
kindness from
So you've influenced in like
people who are kind to me.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't
Yeah.
care who they are. I don't care if he's
yeah.
on the street.
But that's the problem. So working with a lot of influencers
Yes.
that I have done,
So I think she can.
I can 100% tell you, and obviously I'm not talking about all the influencers,
Most
but
of them.
a lot of them, they've got a very entitled kind of attitude.
Yeah.
Okay, I have this many numbers, therefore I am
Yeah.
this.
Yes.
And it's like, no, not really.
Yes.
Actually, you're only famous to your circle.
Yes.
You might have millions. I never knew who you were.
Yes.
Like, you know, so like,
Yeah. Unless you follow them and
unless I
see
follow
them.
them, I
Yeah.
know them. Unless they're a famous person who are on television, in what we call the, you know, in terms of classical fame, television, movies, whatever, you know, whatever that is. Like, I didn't know this person before I kind of met them through work or whatever. I too, like yourself, have come across influencers who are absolutely wonderful, kind, lovely in real life, and you know, just as lovely as they come across on the screen. But let me tell you, I have met a good few influencers who are, when you watch them on the screen, you think, oh God, they seem so lovely,
Yeah.
really lovely, and then you meet them and they are the absolute opposite, like absolute opposite, and actually they're very miserable. And then when you get to know them a little bit more, I mean, I don't judge them straight away. You're starting to get to know them. You realise they're very miserable. They, you know, it's all, and this is what we were talking about. It's social media is so fake as well. Like you said about the coming in a nice car.
Yeah.
So they pretend to have this life.
Yes.
And yet behind closed doors, and they might. I've got one. I know somebody who talks about mental health on a regular. Okay, on a regular. And this person has got so much mental health. Now, it's great that that person is talking about mental health because they do understand it, because they had it, that experience.
Lived experience,
They've
yeah.
got lived experience, which is great. However, it's the way that person is talking about it. You think that they've got their shit together, and they haven't at all. As soon as that camera is off, it's like a whole different person.
Yeah.
That's quite scary. Yes, because I'm like, oh wow, you're actually, as we say, influencing people.
Yeah.
You are giving people all this advice, but you're the person that needs the most work and the most advice here.
I just want to bring Girish in before we move on to the next to ask about who you have been influenced by on social media, and do you share what?
I mean, I kind of just I follow other performers that I know. In terms of recently, I've started to watch these channels that like serve jacket potatoes as well. I don't
Do you like jacket potatoes? Or?
Yeah, but look, social. It's really interesting because I wanted to go back as well to what you were saying about. So I found that there are studies that show that when you look at your phone, not even if you're using it, just the screen is there, and you're with someone, the level of the connection between you both, the conversation drops. There's an amazing book that I've got which talks about the benefits of using no technology for 1 day a week. So not even social media, but like way before that. That's something that I want to put into practice. And I don't feel the pressure. Like, I think for me as well, when I did my website, my number one priority was it wasn't like any other performance. And as I've discovered myself, like, I don't care about going against the grain because I feel intuitively within myself know something's going to suit me if it's going to work. So I don't follow the crowd. Like, I don't care. Like, you do what you do. It's working great. But and in the same way that just because somebody inquires to me about making a booking doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to work together. I have to see, am I the right fit for them?
Do you align with them? Yeah,
Right, yeah, this is what I do.
And going back to like the influencer thing, there are going to be influencers out there who are promoting a product that they don't really care about. Followers and stuff. And the other thing is that I can't remember exactly what it was, but there was this thing a while ago where there was this, whatever it was happening in the world. And I read people should, influencers with big numbers should be using their platform to push this out because they have such a big reach. So then it comes, well, if you've got loads of followers, you have a responsibility, especially if you've got young people following on what are you telling people? How are you educating them? Because that was you one day.
That was you once.
So,
I think to add to what you just said, Girish, the first thing is about going against the grain. I think, for me personally, I see myself sometimes, falling towards or like leaning towards, oh, should I just go with that trend because it might work? But I think it's so important for us not as Gen Z millennials or who have a social presence of whatever numbers, to be true to yourself, because it's affecting the younger generations, because they feel like they have to be like somebody who's faking it on social media. So I think it's so important to be true to yourself, to show your highs and your lows, to show, if you're someone who uses social media, to show that it's not all unicorns and rainbows. There are lows, there are days when you don't.
What would you say to people who are faking it because they want to earn money from it? So, like you've said it quite a few times, brands will come to you if they see you've got following. And for some people now, that is their income.
I think for those people, we need to understand that is their job. So to them, in their minds, what they're thinking is, I'm just doing my job. For example, I'm at work, in the hospital, and I've been asked to do something that I'm not too comfortable with, or maybe I don't support ethically, but it's what the guidelines state. It is my job. I'm getting paid for it. I'm going to do my job, and I'm going to do it well. Now, my job does not affect millions of people who might be watching my video in the hospital, but their job does have that. There's a responsibility. That's where the responsibility comes in, that self-moral compass. What we've not touched on with social media is the levels by which, especially after COVID, and because then we were all in our phones since then actually, is how much social anxiety has increased.
And then
especially
stop talking to
each other. Exactly. Like if I go to a dance class, someone that I've interacted over social media and like, love your videos, texted with them, what do you do, blah blah blah. You go to a dance class, you see these people with so many followers who are just in their own world. Their world is recording themselves, and their other world is just.
Well, I love to watch people at restaurants, and when you go to a restaurant, I'm sat there and I'm seeing a family sat eating, and 90% of them are on their phones. They're not even talking to each other.
Let me maybe share this view. There is too much society pressure, and then there is so much on Instagram all the time that saying that when you have kids, you don't have life, but that's not true. And I think even my own sister, she said to me sometimes that, I see this video and this video, I don't know how these influencer does this, have kids and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, did you see behind the camera what's happening in their house?
Yes.
Nobody knows.
Influencers got divorced, like the really famous.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And even I saw some influencers on the table and how they treat their husbands. I'm sorry, I don't want to name it or shame anyone, but I feel that you have to give same respect to your partners, even though you are in any stage of your life. And then I see them treating their husbands I'm sorry, but
So we're
and
sort
then
of
my husband said to me, he was in an event, and then when we saw everything, he usually doesn't go anywhere with me.
yeah.
You never seen him.
Yeah.
And he said, do you want me to tell you to like him?
So we're actually moving. We're actually moving towards making influencers sound almost negative here. Is there?
No, they're not all negative.
Yeah.
There is some that do
Yeah.
some great work.
Amazing impact as well.
Yeah.
For example, like just to add to what you said about couple influencers. So there's a lot of, joint influencer accounts with a husband or wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, any sort of couple. And a lot of them show the real life, the
That's right.
struggles of doing content creation plus
Having
a family
Yeah.
plus doing a 9 to 5 or whatever their life is. But there's also a lot of them who show this beautiful, perfect life.
Yeah.
And so a lot of these videos, I think one of the key factors is they're very aesthetically pleasing.
Yes.
So when you watch them, you want to watch them, and then they keep popping up on your feed.
Then you
set these unrealistic, exactly.
for me.
These unrealistic
I saw
expectations of a
I saw
relationship.
this mum.
Yes,
I
that's
saw
yeah.
really big.
Yes.
She's a hijabi actually. She's just become a mother.
Yeah.
And honestly, I was thinking to myself, are you for real, love? Like, she was doing this is my night routine. I've just put baby to bed. And then she went onto the mirror in the bathroom. And she done all this. And I was like, listen, I would be lucky to get a bit of soap in my hand, rub it on my face.
Yeah.
And I spray my bedroom with my lavender oil. And I'm like,
What a lie.
no.
No.
That is not what happens, love.
Yeah,
Like, honestly,
exactly.
it's not real life. It's not real life.
This is what the influencers.
Like I said, it's about
But having said that, how close are your real worlds to your digital worlds?
I'd say mine is very close because I actually post my work, okay? And then I find myself, like, so today, as an example, I posted a post for my son who has started a business, a drinks business, a fruit juice business. And actually, his account is not his drinks account, but it's about him and how he's building his brand.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Okay. So and he's had a bit of a journey himself in life, and he's only 21. He'll be 22 this year, but he's had a bit of a journey, and this is a real turning point for him. And he wants to show people the real deal with him, and he's been very authentic and very open about his life. So I reposted that. I repost a lot of music and dance. So I'm very nostalgic. So I post a lot of old school music. And I'm so something from the early 80s. Yeah. And I posted something about being a Sagittarian, and it's quite funny. And I thought that was quite funny. And I thought, yeah, that's me. and then I posted work. So I will post, like, say, for instance, a cutting that I got in a newspaper. Well, I don't think I did that today, but I'm just saying that's what I would normally post. Or I would post something that I got on television, one of my clients doing an interview. So I think my Instagram is very much me.
It is. And I think it goes back to what she said when she's seen somebody on digital space and then meet them in real. You get two different personalities. And I can safely say with you, what I see of you on social is exactly what you are in the real. How close are you to your social?
Maybe I put my photography work, but then I don't put only photography work. If you see, maybe you're following me. I just put everyday work as well. I put, like, if I'm making something in the kitchen, I just put it on my story. It don't has to be aesthetic, just natural as I can.
Same.
I don't want to fake it. I don't have a really nice kitchen aesthetic or everything. I just post it.
Yeah.
And things I like
Point and shoot.
yes, like no filter. So in my picture you don't see any filter. I don't edit. I try to take as much natural as I can with natural light. So mostly I put, like, when I was walking, I was like just feeling like how lucky I am living in this country. People dreaming about it. Like, I always feel after all this Gaza situation, I have to mention it. I just feel it that I have to live every moment. I have my
Your health,
home,
your wealth,
and food. I am grateful. This is someone's dream to live my life, your life, or have a house or space where they feel comfortable. So I think after all this whatever is going on this world, I'm on a point just to be natural as I can.
As you can. Brilliant. And what about yourselves, Garish and
I mean, I use my social to post what I do because obviously it's how I can get work. But I use my stories to show other bits and pieces as well. Like actually, just today I put a video I shot last year, just giving advice about relationships, how to create a strong and secure relationship for longevity. But again,
As if it's another person.
no, I just did talking to camera.
Oh, right.
Something I learned.
Nice.
And I put like, got to put some personalities with it. So I said, guys, if you're only making your girl feel special on Valentine's, her birthday, Christmas, anniversary, what are you doing the other 361 days?
Yeah.
I'm watching that.
Amen.
Yeah.
But also, of course, it broadens out, right? Because people buy into people and not products.
That's right.
So you have to understand, they have to trust you. You are part of your brand.
Yes. And my slogan, by the way, is PR Queen and a few things in between.
Okay.
So that's actually
You are.
that's exactly what I actually call myself on my Instagram.
Yeah.
I mean, it's PR by Naz, but I mean, that's my little slogan underneath.
Yeah.
PR Queen and the few things in between. Are just my personality and things that I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And I think the way I got onto Instagram late, but I think the way that it probably started is that if you have a look at like the blow up of food influencers, it was probably just people sitting down, taking photos of their food, just putting it up to show family, and all of a sudden it got traction. Then it became a business, and then people thought, oh, we can make money from this, and let's get involved.
But I think there is more society pressure. Like if you ask somebody why they wanted to influence, they don't want it to know. They just know, oh, we can be famous, we can get free things, and we can be friends. Like if you see people who are expats in England or London, I can see why they're putting pictures on Instagram so they can make friends with other people. It's a good way of communication or friendship.
I think the Insta famous word.
But I think
So they wanted to be famous.
Yeah.
They wanted to
The shortcut to fame.
Who are like famous people, and the famous influencer, and they all become friends and things.
I see what I find really interesting is people like, as an example, because I actually met him, like I've met him a couple of times, but that's Shabazz, is it Shabazz?
Shabazz,
Yeah. How he has become a real personality in the media. Like, and I'm talking even mainstream now. Like, that is just a guy, I think, was he a teacher or something? Is he still a teacher? I don't know. But just because he comments on rich people, and the way he became Insta famous and how that has progressed is like he's gone from being a school teacher to somebody now who is like somebody who's interviewing famous people. I find that rise to fame really interesting. Like becoming famous from social media. I mean, it is the way it's going. But I find that whole journey really interesting because, like I said, growing up in the time that I grew up, to become famous, you had to work for that. And you had a real talent. I'm not saying he's not a talent, but think about it. He just used to sit on his bed and talk about rich people. And now he's doing red carpets and he's mixing with famous people. As an example,
the right people.
Exactly. But it's just because he's got personality. Yeah, he has got a personality.
Yeah. But then people like call that journalism, and some people go and get degrees and train so hard for those skills, and this guy's just got it naturally, who's not had to go study, who's not had to get a degree, and
but
is now
the same for actors and all things like that as well.
Now
you've got people that go. Again, I know of a story of somebody that I know very well, who's an actor, who went for this role. In fact, with Riz Ahmed for Hamlet, believe it or not. Went for a role. Two guys actually I know who went for this, and you know who they gave it to? They gave it to some influencer guy. He got the role, and he's not an actor.
This is happening globally.
So
people,
I find that really quite sad, and I do feel sorry for people that have trained and worked really hard for a particular job, and then an influencer comes in and takes it from underneath there.
Before we go on to that topic, can I just give Sidi a chance to give her response to how close do you think you are to your social media, to your digital space?
I think I'm pretty much the same. Of course, there's your own home, family, comfort when you're in your house. That is something that I don't feel the need to share with everybody. But I'm so real on Instagram because otherwise, I think because influencer culture and social media has such an influence on our day-to-day lives now, if I don't be myself on there, I will lose myself in real life.
Yeah.
And I can't.
I think we could continue this conversation for days because there's that much to unpack when it comes to influencer culture. And I am so grateful for everything that you've shared, the insights that you've given. I think my take, to summarize from what the four of you have said, you've all said something similar but in different ways. And I think to summarize, I would say you guys believe influencer is authenticity.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
100%.
Yeah. And I think now you can't deceive people anymore either. People can see, and you're more attracted to when you see something that you feel like, I can relate to that. That feels authentic to me.
Yes.
And I think, people can go. And we do see those who we know that are not authentic, but it's like you said, you doom scroll.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you end up watching it anyway, and therefore they'll get the likes and the shares and whatever, because you just, like you said, voyeurism, isn't it? So there you go. Yeah. Well, there you go. That was Chaii and Charcha on the move here at Chaiwala Knightsbridge. Make sure you join the conversation. Influencer culture. What are your thoughts? Share your comments below. See you again next time. Bye for now.